Again, in 2003, lots of aviation programming going on, and Discovery Wings had decided they were going to do a bunch of small program shoots. They call them interstitials. They're little 2 or 3 minute pieces that they would weave into their regular program, and they're going to do it from Reno, Oshkosh, Sun and Fun, the big aviation events in that year. And we were at Reno, and most everybody in the aviation community knows who Bob Hoover is. I mean, he was a famous aviator, test pilot, just a consummate professional air show pilot, and beloved by everybody in the aviation community, and a true gentleman. And the producer there was a younger woman who really didn't know a lot about aviation, but she was a competent producer. And I mentioned to her, I said, this is Bob Hoover's Final Flight. And she looked at me kind of like, I said, trust me, we need to cover this. This is a big deal in aviation. So she said, okay, go ahead and do it. I'm excited. I finally get to work with Bob Hoover. Again, another one of my childhood heroes, an aviator that I knew so much about and greatly respect. And if you know anything about Bob Hoover, again, he's a consummate professional air show guy and test pilot, flown all different kinds of aircraft, and a very smart guy and knows a lot about aircraft. And he would fly when he did his air show. He'd wear a suit and tie and a straw hat. That was his signature straw hat. So I met with his crew chief, and he was flying the Commander, which is a high-wing twin-engine airplane that he does. Part of his routine is a dead stick routine, where he shuts the engines off and does an energy management routine, returns to the airport with the engines off, and taxis right back up to where he started. And it's pretty cool. So I wanted to position the camera kind of looking over his shoulder so you see him and then see the propeller out the window, and you could see it shut off when he got into his energy management routine. So I got it all set up, and talking to his crew chief again, I got a equipment box. It's a Pelican case about this big. I said, where should we put this box? And ultimately we decided we'd put it in the passenger seat, the right side. Nobody's going to be sitting there, and we'll just strap it in the seat, and it'll be fine for his whole routine. So again, we left it open because I got to start tape, and I'm waiting for the last possible minute. I'm standing by, and up walks Bob Hoover. I finally get a chance to shake hands with him. I meet him. So I shook hands with him, and I said, I rigged your airplane with a camera, and you can look it over. You'll see everything's fine. He sticks his head in, he looks over, he sees the box, a bright orange box on the passenger seat. He goes, where am I going to put my hat? Where the hell am I going to put my hat? That's where I put my hat, son. What am I going to do? And I'm thinking, oh my God, I have defiled and ruined Bob Hoover's Final Flight at Reno. And I'm shaking and going, oh shit. And he looks at me and goes, I'm just fucking with you, kid. Takes his hat off, throws it in the back, jumps in and goes and flies a final routine at Reno. And afterwards, he signed his book and gave me a nice personal signature to his book, which I had, of course, the hardcover version of Forever Flying, which is a great book to read about his aviation exploits. And so that was my experience with Bob Hoover, Reno.